solve these proportions, unique situation where you can move things diagonally, it has to still be equal, existed on the board. So remember, there's two rules. You want the variable on top. That has to be the case. If I want to write these small little guidelines down. Variable to the top. Right? And you can only move diagonally. So just think of them as two different rules for the game. Like, make sure the variable's on top, and then move numbers diagonally. So, like on number 1, the variable is on the bottom. Right? So we want to move it diagonally to the top. So that's step 1. And we can start off by doing this. So I got the variable on top. So I want all the numbers on the other side. So the 2 is already on the other side. So that's kind of just stays right there. But then these other numbers we need to move. So the 18, move it to the other side, but remember, only get to move that. So the 18 is going to move down to the bottom. And the 10, which is on the bottom here, will move diagonally and I'll be on the top. So R will equal 2 times 10 over 8. Now, your answer is going to be a reduced fraction, okay? Improper. So this needs to reduce to another fraction with only one number on top and one number on bottom. I'm going to give you the keystrokes that you put in your calculator for it to do for you. So follow this exactly so it works. First thing, anytime you have more than 2 terms on the top or bottom, 1 in parentheses. That'll make sure they get done first. So when you calculate, you're going to type this. And type it as long as I write it down. Parentheses, 2 times down. The fraction button, which looks like ABC. And then 18. Okay. Finally do that. Now, we didn't use parentheses here because there's only one term. But if I had 18 times 5 or something, then that would be in parentheses as well. Okay. Now, that might give you a decimal or a mixed number. So if it gives you either of those, we're going to do one more part, which we already know how to do, probably. You're going to hit Shift, A, B, C. And that will make it an improper fraction, and that will be your final answer. Okay. So part A is putting in the problem. Part B is making sure it's improper. And the nice thing about this is it reduces the fraction for you, so you don't have to worry about it. It's all the way reduced. Now, these numbers are on this problem are very small, but some of the other answers might be like 175 over 37 or something. They're going to be big numbers. That's why I'm showing you how to use the calculator. It doesn't matter how big the numbers are. You're just putting in the calculator. It's not more difficult because it has bigger numbers. So just keep that in mind. They don't have to be a fraction, though. The problems I gave you, most of them do come out to fractions. Right, so this comes out to, what was it? 10 over 9. Okay. 10 over 9. Let's do a few more. Using that. That should go to, what's a good one? Number 2. So we want the variable on top. Again, it's a good idea just to start with here. I'm going to move the variable up here diagonally so it's on the top. So we got x. And technically we're multiplying both sides by x. And the -6 is already on the right-hand side, so that stays. And then I just need to move these two to the other side. And again, we only move diagonally. 16 is going to go to the bottom. And that 14 is going to go to the top. So x is going to equal, in parentheses, -6 times 14, hit the fraction button, the C button, 16, enter, and then shift fraction for the improper answer. That comes out to negative something. What does it come out to? There we go. There you go. Good. Now, if you didn't get that, and you put it in the calculator and didn't say this, well, if it said 5 1/4, you just need to do the shift fraction. If it says anything else besides that, check with someone next to you on how to type it in properly. You're probably just missing the parentheses. These have to be on there. So make sure you know where those keys are for parentheses. It won't work otherwise. If you don't have the parentheses, it's going to do this. It's going to do 6 times 14 over 16. That's what it's doing without the parentheses. With the parentheses, and make sure to do it first, because parentheses is first in order of operations. So it would multiply those first and then do the fraction after. Okay. All right, so work on just the front. And we'll go over the back in, I don't know, probably less than 10 minutes. You'll find the front is pretty straightforward. But I only need to see 2 steps. An x equals, and then the 3 numbers that you're working with and where they go, and then your final answer. You do not have to show any work of arithmetic between these two, just the calculator. All right, from here to here is using the calculator. Okay. All right, go to that, and say, just like the front, if there's more than 2 terms, put in parentheses. But for these, we're really just going to get rid of the fractions. So anything on the bottom, we're going to move to the top. Something like this will be 1 times 9. Now there's nothing on the bottom on the left side, so we just end up with negative 1 on the same. Okay. So the only new step is the first step, like what to move and how to move it. After that, it's just review. You know how to solve this already. 1 times 9. And this is just asking what number? What number minus 1 equals 5? What minus 1 equals 5? And then, of course, show the algebra. So since there's a variable involved, we are showing the algebra. That's the rule. If there's variables involved, show algebra. Otherwise, it's just all numbers. Doesn't count. And just like any other equation, you check it. You can make sure it's right. Make it 1.
Right. Do we have to check the other ones?
Plus 10. All divided by 9. Just make sure it equals 1. So 10 minus 1 is 9. And 9 divided by 9 is 1. So just like all the other equations, you know if it's right or wrong before you say you're finished, before you say you're done, before you turn in the quiz or a test. You know your grade on it. Now you can do this on the problems on the front with the calculator, because you have to put in like negative 135 over 63 divided by 42 or something. So, but it's just calculator work. It's possible to check. Right. So that is the gist of it. So you want parentheses, 2 or more terms. Just like the front. Put those in parentheses. And then next, move everything diagonally to top. Move everything diagonally to the top. Okay, to the top. Okay, so let's try just 1 or 2 more. We'll be set. Let's go to something like this, number 17. Okay. So we have 2 or more terms. Step 1, 2 more terms, parentheses. And then move everything to the top. So the 2, we're going to move that in front of those parentheses. and a 9 I'm going to put in front of the x. So we're left with an equation that we know how to solve. This is exactly what we practiced yesterday. Not yesterday, last week. So it's just an equation with distributive property and variables on both sides. So the only thing that's new is the first step on how to move everything, and everything afterwards is review. Solving that equation is what we did last week. We did a paper assignment, we did a computer assignment. So if you're up to speed on everything you've done in the past, this is just now a review problem. Okay, so we can distribute. Okay. And then start with the variable on the right. And just like on the front, the answers may not be, whole integers. It's okay to have fractions as answers. That's one reason I purposely made a lot of the answers, not all of them, but most of them, fraction answers, just to get to use the idea that just because you get a fraction for an answer doesn't mean it's wrong or no solution or something. It's okay every now and then when you get a bill for something, it's not exactly $5 or $20. It could be $20.52. It's a fraction. Perfectly fine. It doesn't mean it's wrong. Not everything rounds perfectly. So don't just stop and say, well, I got a fraction, because 7 times what is 24? I don't know what that is, and then just stop. Just keep going and finish it up. Okay, so you got 10 minutes in the class. Go ahead and finish as much as you can on the front and the back. Tomorrow, Khan Academy on this.